Is everybody ready to talk a little bit about our favorite people? The theme for tonight is called Team Risk, because I don't know of a husband and wife team who do more for the community than Mike and Katie Risk. Team Risk was formed in 1983 when Mike and Katie married. They were kind of joined together through their love of tennis, and they continue that today. And many of you here tonight also still enjoy tennis with them. We're glad to have members of both of their families tonight. Whoops, sorry about that. Charles Risk, his daughter Kathy, and her husband Mike Love came up from Little Rock. We're glad to have you here. And the other part of the family is Nikki and Randy Webb. Terry King was supposed to be here sometime or another, but he couldn't be here. So when you join two folks in marriage, you join their families. So Katie got Mike's family, and Mike got Katie's family, and I can assure you that Katie got the better end of the deal. We're especially pleased tonight that we have Dr. Justin Lanham, who was able to come here this evening from Texas. Justin is the Vice Chancellor for the Dallas Community College down in Dallas. Now, Ed, you and Robin know this. The college where he is Vice Chancellor has over 165,000 students, both in undergraduate programs and adult education. Now, think of 165,000. It might be a little bit more than we have here in Mountain Home. He and his wife, Tanya, are the proud parents of Carissa. And recently, Carissa proved that she is just as smart as her grandmother and that she made a perfect 1,600 on her SAT score. That's pretty impressive. Here is a picture of Mike's daughter, Amanda. She's married to Shane White, who is a restaurant manager in the Dallas area. I'm sorry that they couldn't be here. But as you can see, the granddaughter Zoe is watching Grandma as she goes around and wrestles an alligator. Awesome job. I think Katie was the one who put the thing around the snout. That's pretty good. Scouting has always been a central part of Mike's family. Anybody recognize that guy? I didn't. Mike got his Eagle Scout when he was 16. He was a member of Troop 110 in North Little Rock. But both Mike and Katie have been involved with scouting here. This is a picture of Justin when he was a Cub Scout, and Katie served as den leader. Now, Katie offered to wear her den leader outfit tonight, but I told her that might be a little too much cleavage to show. But she promised me that it fit perfectly like it did before. After Katie served as den leader, then Mike took over as assistant scoutmaster. Scouting is made up of scout and family, scout and mother, scout and father or adult, and so Mike took over. This is a picture of them at Antenna Pine. Mike has a smile on his face, but he assured me that he was plumb tuckered. Antenna Pine is at Camp Orr. It's almost a straight shot up, and you go up as fast as you can to plant your flag and take someone else's flag back down at dinner. So I think they actually had to carry him down after this. Mike was one of these leaders that absolutely did everything for their kid. And this shows it. This is a winter Klondike camp out. Now, sports fans, you look at that thermometer. The thermometer is about minus 18 degrees during the daylight hours. And Mike said it got even a lot colder than that at night time. Another scouting activity was cave exploring that they did. And again, the boys love to get dirty. They love to cave explore. That's a great thing for scouts to do. They were both proud Eagle Scout parents because Justin earned his award as a member of Troop 1. Mike also was recognized here at this banquet several years ago when he received the James West Fellowship here. Mike has had a successful dental practice. He and Katie have donated hundreds of toothbrushes and toothpaste to the school children each year. And they've done this for over 30 years. Mike has also given school talks about dental care. And I'm not sure why. This is one of Mike's things. He does this with the kids. He didn't have one of them do the toothbrush, but I have to tell you the story. Mike has been responsible for several generations of absolutely perfect dental care in these students that he talked to, because Mike has a unique way of telling them why they need to brush. Our kids came home and said, Dr. Risk was at school today, and he told us that Mr. Tooth Decay poops on our teeth. That's why we need to brush. When you go to his clinics, his walls are filled with hundreds of crayon drawings by young patients. Katie and Mike have also been involved with Katie has also been involved with Mountain Home Schools. She was an early member of Partners in Education, and she was one of the school coordinators for the schools. Now, that's kind of as much as I'm going to talk about, because when you look at what they have done, they're involved with so many organizations that I would be remiss and probably miss something if I tried to do it all myself. So, at this time, I'd like Gary Tudd to come back up. Gary is our Eagle Scout. He's an Eagle Scout. He's a minister of the Fellowship Cumberland Presbyterian Church where Mike and Katie worship. And Mike is going to kind of fill us in a little bit on what they have been involved in their church. Mike, thank you.
I've only known Mike and Katie for 5 years. Maybe that's long enough, I don't know. I am their pastor, as Ray said, but consequently I've primarily seen them when they've been on their best behavior, or it seemed that way. You know, but anyway, I do understand them better than most, since my dad was a dentist, and my mother helped him in the office, and seriously, it's been my pleasure to have them as part of the Fellowship Cumberland Presbyterian Church. Mike and Katie, over the years, have given themselves as Sunday school teachers, and Mike didn't realize that when he got married to Katie that he would be a permanent Sunday school teacher for over 30 years now, as I remember. But they give themselves in choir and hand chimers and workers in camp, and workers at Christian Clinic, and on many boards, raising money, providing services, and promoting entertainment for many. And some don't even know who they are. Mike did not realize that. I've already said that. Over the years, they've been involved in church camping program. And Katie, if I'm not mistaken, your name is on one of those buildings down there somewhere at Camp Panay. Anyway, it's one of those that's still standing. But they both went down there and worked, and it's a wonderful place for a lot of folks. When I'm at camp, there will still be people asking, do I know Katie and Mike Risk? Because they remember as they were their children, some of them it's their children, and some of them it's them that are asking about you. And are you still active in church? I said, yes, they are. And they do continue to influence several generations of folks. Another thing that's great about them is on any given Sunday, they will bring with them to church 2 or 3 adults that live next door to the Baxter Daycare Center. They take their time and share with them, and 4 of the residents there are members of our church, partly because of their influence. Also, Mike took me on my first fishing trip on the White River. Now, evidently, he had a brown that was there that was ready for me to catch. And I caught it. But I want you to know, we put it back in the water, primarily so it could grow larger and be legal, so I could take it home and But I could go on about them, but Ray said, make it short. I got other folks that will be here, but they are wonderful folks that I'm glad that I can call them friend, like many of you. Thank you.
forgot to say that as far as the school, I knew I was missing one slide. Mike and Katie had a very interesting year along with several other of us during the Amanda senior year. They were class sponsors, which means that about 220, 230 kids, we were the parents when their parents weren't around, kind of had to keep everybody safe and all. It was a full-time job, but they did a great job of that. All right, next I'd like to ask Barney Larry to come up while he's making his way up. Barney has been the leader of the Baxter Regional Hospital Foundation for many, many years. The foundation not only provides endowment for the hospital, but oversees 4 community houses which provide medical support for patients in this area. And Barney, I bet along the way you've had some good help from some folks. Come up and tell us about it.
Thank you, Ray. Katie and Mike, I know Katie hates this, but I will tell you, when Ray asked me, would you say a few words, and I said, I'm not sure I could just say a few words about Katie and Mike Risk. And when you introduced them about Team Risk, so I got out my phone and I Googled team. I really didn't know that team really meant what Google said, but I believe everything on the phone. So basically, Google said that, and I'll put this phone away, I can read it here with my bifocals. It says a group of 2 or more individuals coming together to work towards a common goal. Now, if you've ever been around Mike and Katie, they always have a common goal. And when I think of them as a team, I think of one word: serve good. They never want to be recognized. They always want to be servants of other people. That gets me excited about individuals. And I will tell you today, we are so blessed to have folks like Mike and Katie that have made this community for what it is. And let me share with you some of the things that they've done. Back in 1988, Katie began serving at the hospital for a fundraising committee. She didn't realize that she would still be serving on that same committee 30 years later. Today, she's the longest serving board member on Baxter Regional Hospital Foundation. As Dr. Saul already mentioned that, Mike and Katie serve Mount Home Christian Clinic, the library, ASU Mountain Home. But let me just kind of share with you some of the things that they've done for us over the past 30 years. Katie serves on our Employee Fund Drive. Employee Fund Drive touches 1,600 employees. We began the Employee Fund Drive back in 2000. She's the only board member that has served all that time on that committee. The only actually person that shows up at 7 o'clock in the morning for kickoff, 11 o'clock at night for kickoff, but we're open 24 hours a day. Katie's always there. Just a couple weeks ago, she was there. Throughout the time of her service at Baxter Regional Medical Center, the employees, with her leadership, her major leadership, have raised over $2.1 million. Katie, you've been there. Now, Mike doesn't want to be left behind this team, so we also have a Christmas party. And guess what Mike does? Now, I'm not sure he has made 2,100,000 balloons, but Mike makes balloons at all of our staff Christmas parties. Literally, we probably have 500 or 600 children there. Mike's always there supporting Katie in that endeavor. Our Linda Hanneman, which raises money for our houses, our community houses. Katie and Mike are both engaged in that. Katie is a master of leading our masquerade ball. We've had that for the last 4 years. And right alongside her is Mike. And greeting people, welcoming people to that event. Our donor banquet puts about 500 people that we have there. Who's out in front? Katie and Mike Risk. The Risks are our longest giving annual donors that we have at Baxter Regional Medical Center from 1988 to 2017. No one else has given every year. Our Legacy Society, which is our donors who have given actually, they're donors who have given deferred gifts. Mike and Katie are very engaged. Every year, they serve about 75 people at their house, and Mike cooks for them. Katie opens the door for them to let them into her beautiful home, and every year they do that for us. And our folks have a great time in our Legacy Society. These are very important people to us because they've committed almost $27 million in the past few years just for Baxter Regional Medical Center. So without their help, we would not be able to have such Legacy Society as that. So thank you all for what you've done for us there. Katie and Mike are true advocates at Baxter Regional Medical Center. They're perfect models of what we should be like as a community. And so I think the only thing I can say about Katie and Mike, I love you all. You all have helped us make Baxter Regional what it is today. And so when I grow up, I want to be like Mike and Katie.
Another organization that Mike and Katie worked with has been the Baxter County Library. So Gwen, would you come up, please? Gwen Kayak has been the front person for the building of our new library here. And although she is now with the Twin Lakes Community Foundation, I want to recognize her for the beautiful library that she has had. And she passed the baton on to Kim Crochater, who is also here tonight. We're glad to have both of you here tonight. Gwen, the microphone is all yours.
Thank you, and good evening. Ray made it clear that I only had 3 to 5 minutes, so remember that I can only get so much into that space of time.
Tell it all, tell it all.
I'll be here all night. But Katie is what I call a twofer. When you get Katie, you also get Mike. And those of you that know Katie know she doesn't do anything halfway. I can remember many times at a fundraiser or any other event that required hard work, they'd both be there, and Mike would quietly come up to me and he'd say, "Don't tell Katie, but I've got an overdue library book." And until tonight, I've never mentioned it to her. Mike, we can return the book.
Move on, move on.
But after a stressful fundraising campaign to computerize the library that involved selling opportunities to win a new car, and bear in mind at that time, charitable raffles were not permitted in the state of Arkansas. Excuse me, John. We raised the money, but we swore we would never do that again. So the following summer, Katie and Deborah Knox and Carol Landrum and I set up the Library Foundation and spent the whole summer working on the bylaws. And I refer to that group as the Founding Mothers. So we had a foundation, and then we had to raise some money to put in it. So came gala dinner auctions and Texas Hold'em poker tournaments, and when we started that, the laws were not eased yet. We did it anyway. And the Law for the Library tennis tournaments. And Katie worked hard at every one of them. And all of that was before we even got started on the new library. But after a resounding defeat, when voters turned down a proposal to renovate what is now Orchland for a library building, we were invited to a meeting with the Committee for Performing Arts to meet with a representative from the Mullins Foundation. And Katie, I think, was responsible for getting us that invitation. Anyway, we visited with him, and he told us flatly that we were not ready to submit a capital grant proposal to them, and that we might think about a planning grant. So, and that the library was the logical lead organization. So we didn't have anything to lose. So the founding mothers sat down and wrote a planning grant. And that was the start of a 6-year project that resulted in a new library. And I cannot tell you what all went into that. It is a complete blur. All I can say is there were meetings and more meetings and committees and new committees, and Katie was at every one. I can't think of one she missed. Anyway, one of the first things we had to do was choose a consultant to guide us through that process. And I came up with the name of a consultant that had worked for Fayetteville in their process. And we interviewed him over the phone. And I was behind my desk, and there was Katie, and there was Carol, and there was Deborah. And Katie said, "We'll go." And then when we got off the phone, she said, "Well, in my opinion, he's not the right one for us." Well, if any of you know Katie, when she says, "in my opinion," you better listen. So we found one that fit us better, and we got started. And Katie was an important and influential part of our construction committee, and she was also a part of the committee that chose a permanent art collection. She and Jackie Edmonds and Judy Moen set up a library advisory board, and Katie has always refused to be the president or chairman of anything, but she hosted that board quarterly. And when I say hosted, I mean hosted. She fixed the meal for them, and I think that's why she had such good attendance. But her support and hard work on behalf of the library didn't end when the building was finished. She continued to serve on the Library Foundation and the Facilities Use Committee that oversees the appropriate use of the building. And she's still involved with fundraisers, the mini golf at the library and pub night. And I'm sure she's still involved with those. I know how committed that Katie is to the library and how hard she worked for it. But the amazing thing about Katie is that she gives that level of energy and dedication to every single thing that she does in the community. And Katie, we're honored that you and Mike chose to be a part of our growth. And it's a joy to work with you, and I'm so proud to call you my friend.
They make this so easy for me, I'm enjoying it more and more. Dr. Paul Wilbur, if you'll please come up. Since 2000, the Mountain Home Christian Clinic has been providing free medical and dental care along with prescription drugs for needy patients in our area. Dr. Wilbur, who is a former honoree here, is the founding medical director and a driving force for this clinic. And I think he has a couple of folks that have worked pretty hard with him too. Dr. Wilbur?
Well, the team of Katie and Mike Riss have been a blessing to Mountain Home in many ways. One of the ways they've been a blessing to the city and to our community is through their involvement and support of the Mountain Home Christian Clinic. You've heard of all the stuff they're doing, but in spite of that, over the years, they've always found the time, always found the energy to be at the Mountain Home Christian Clinic providing charitable dental care to people in need. They, by their efforts and their way that they do things at the clinic, they have truly shown the love of Jesus at work. And we are so proud that they have been a part of our clinic. Some years ago, quite a few years, but I've forgotten how many, when our first volunteer that had been in charge of taking care of the scheduling for our dental clinic found that she could no longer do the job, the first thought that came to our mind for someone to replace her was Katie. But we were a little afraid to ask her because we knew how busy she was. But we went ahead and asked her. She thought about it a little bit and she accepted that responsibility. And since that time, she's been totally involved in the dental charitable dental clinic at the Mountain Christian Clinic. And we're so glad she has, because she's done such a great job, she's involved in all we do at the clinic. Both Katie and Mike are involved in everything we do. They come to our dinners and to our devotions, and those of you who know Katie probably know that she is a good cook. Well, at the Christian Clinic, she's known for her fried chicken and her hash brown potato casserole. The people that come to the Christian Clinic for charitable dental care many times are those kind of people who have put off seeking that care until they have very diseased, abscessed, and painful teeth. And they're sometimes hard to work with. But Dr. Risk is so good at dealing with those people. He always treats them with respect and professional care. I can't tell you how many times there have been more people come to the dental clinic and then we had dentists and time to take care of. But Michael Risk frequently stays after everyone else is gone and takes care of that one more patient who has pain and needs care. There's a sort of a legend at the Christian Clinic about the time there was someone with a really, really difficult extraction. And Dr. Risk and Dr. Lane stayed afterwards, and it took them about an hour to remove that tooth that needed removing so badly. What that tells me, it tells me about the kind of person that Michael is. He's the kind of person that cares about people. When he takes a job on, he finishes it. And he works well with others. And to have the team of Michael and Katie at the clinic has just been wonderful. For the past 17 years, they have been providing charitable dental care through the Mountain Home Christian Clinic. I can't think of anyone else that more deserves the Golden Eagles Service Award than this too. Michael, thank you. Katie, thank you.
Jeff, Jeff, quick, work your way up here. Jeff is the Executive Director of the Food Bank of North Central Arkansas. Under his direction, the food bank distributes almost 3 million pounds of food a year through 9 counties in our area. Jeff, I understand you've had some little bit of a bridge bash help along the way, huh?
Yes, sir. Mike and Katie, on behalf of the food bank and some 38,000 individuals that we serve each year, I just want to say congratulations and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am so grateful for the way that both of you have stepped up and helped us become what our organization has become, not only in the Twin Lakes area, but really across all of North Central Arkansas. Folks, about 8 years ago, Joe Wilson and myself, we were sitting around and trying to decide who needed to be a part of this planning group for this event we thought we would call Bridge Bash. Well, some 3.2 million meals provided later. We here are sitting here visiting about how incredible Mike and Katie are. They have been instrumental in that work every step of the way. Katie has been a part of our sponsorship team from the get-go. She has helped raise a considerable amount of funds to make sure that this actually happens each year. Her and her team are responsible for making sure that this is funded and able to go beyond just paying for the event to actually feeding people as well. But along the way, Mike also stepped in and started making some, I think that first year we put Mike on the bridge and we said, keep everyone from Marion County from coming over here. He quickly said, I'm not doing that again. But he's made balloon animals for our kids, and he has been in charge of, for several years now, our parking and logistics for the event. So many of you guys have heard us talking today, and you guys know this.
Not doing that again, is he?
They never want credit for things, and that's one of the things that inspires us so much in your work. But on a personal note, Justin, I don't know if you remember this, but we played T-ball a few years ago. Miss Katie, you were an encourager back then, and for me to remember that from T-ball time to now, for me growing up, you were always there with a smile and a hug and a word of encouragement for me, and I am so grateful for that. Mike, the first time I worshiped with you, I looked up and lo and behold, you were leading children's time in front of the altar. And I thought, why in the world would that surprise me, that there he is leading his children and showing them by his example and through his words the importance of his faith in his life. I am so grateful to call you my friends and to work side by side with you as we endeavor to build bridges from hunger to hope for people that need us most. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Ed Coulter, why don't you work your way up here? When Dr. Coulter was asked to come back to Mountain Home to head up our fledgling Center of Higher Learning, most of us didn't know what his vision of what this institution could be. But Ed was able to come and share that vision with what it could be, and Mike and Katie were two of the folks he was able to share it with. He was also been able to enjoy a few good times with them along the way. Ed?
In kind of a small world category, several years ago, Tanya's brilliant, beautiful wife was my student secretary at Ouachita Baptist University. It's a wonderful small world. There are several people who could be up here tonight talking about Mike and Katie's involvement with the university. Miss Christie back here, been involved in every special event. Our new great chancellor could be up here. I'm up here because I'm old. He thinks I can remember 22 years, and I can't. But can you imagine getting the assignment that Ray Stahl, first time you're supposed to say doctor, Dr. Ray Stahl gave you the assignment, Ed, I want you to say equal good things about Mike and Katie. It's like saying equal good things about Beauty and the Beast. Don't
talk about my wife that way.
Now, I need to tell you this word of background. Just after retirement, I bought a brand new riverboat, 20 horsepower Mercury motor. And Mike calls and says, Ed, hey, I'm used to it. Come on, I'll help you learn how to do it and help you break it in. There wasn't any water that day. Mike drove my boat up and down the river, around the propeller, scratched the bottom of it, scratched everything, and I told him someday I would get even. So, those of us in this room that know Katie know that she will go to heaven if she doesn't overshoot it. I can just imagine the meeting of Katie and St. Pete. And he says, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter into the kingdom of heaven. And Katie says, could I ask a question? He said, well, sure. She said, what's the next major event? He said, why? She said, I want to set up a silent auction. Now, those of us that know Mike, hope he gets there for the interview. Yeah, and that discussion is going to be something like, St. Peter's going to say, can I help you? And he's going to say, well, I thought I'd like to see if I could, get in heaven. And St. Peter would say, well, what have you done on earth? And he's going to say, I helped Katie. And St. Peter's going to say, well, what are you going to do in heaven? I'm going to help Katie. And St. Peter's going to say, get in there, we need you. She set up a silent auction. She's raising money to send water to hell. That's what we've all put up with for the last 22 years. Katie and Mike. We opened the new campus in 2000. And in the spring of 2001, I got a call from Pat Ballard. Said, Ed, you want to shoot some fireworks? I said, sure, what are you talking about? So that was the beginning of the idea of Red, White, and Blue. Best thing we ever did was we asked my wonderful sister-in-law, Connie Barnett, and Katie Risk, to head that. I'm sorry. That has become one of the most respected festivals in all of Arkansas. We shoot more fireworks than Little Rock, Katie Risk, Connie, and others have put the Red, White, and Blue Festival on Arkansas's map. You can fast forward. Fast forward 10 years, and we opened the wonderful Community Development Center, our gift to the community, in hopes of bringing culture, art, and entertainment to the community. We needed to create the Performing Arts Group. Miss Katie, front and center. She's been involved with that from the day one, and at every single event, the doors ever open, Mike and Katie are there, making this a more wonderful place to live. And they've been on campus more than most of us put together. And then come to a current. Under the guidance of Robin and the exciting new truck party, it was a tremendous success, already on the calendar for next year. Who's there? Mike and Katie Risk. We had the good fortune of sitting at the table with Mike and Katie at the truck party. The party lasted over 2 hours. Katie was never at her chair. Mike ate in about 8 minutes, and that's what they do. That's what they do. Time and time again. We had many times to raise money at the university, many campaigns. They were involved in every single one of them. If you go in the shed, and you'll see at the very front door to the left, the executive suite for the director of the shed is the Mike and Katie Risk suite. They did everything they ever could to help that university be what it is today. You know, every successful organization has some people behind the scenes, those Trojans, those workhorses, who you never know how many hours, how much time they put in for the success of their school, their hospital, whatever it is, and that's Mike and Katie. I call them unsung heroes. And when the book is written about unsung heroes in Mountain Home, chapter 1, sure.
Well, I think the unsung heroes part is really it for them. If they weren't the honorees tonight, after we finish, they would be the folks who would be clearing the tables, getting the tablecloths up, because almost every time that you're at an event, they stay and get everything done. Katie has often said that she doesn't want to be the president. She doesn't want to be the chairman. She's a great sergeant or first lieutenant who gets things done. And Mike is right there beside her. Team Risk is such a wonderful term. It is a term that fits you guys. We appreciate you. We love you. And we're glad to present you with the 2018 Golden Eagle Award. Dr. C. Michael Risk, Dr. Katie Keene Risk, please come up and get your award. Thank you.
As I look around this room, I see all these men here, and 99% of them have married above their station. Oh, never mind. Sorry, Todd. Especially Todd. But anyway, it is wonderful that y'all are here, and we thank
so very much to honor us and to support scouting, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And y'all were all very nice to include me in this because we really know how all this really works. In the lake of life, I am but a water skier following the boat. I have control side to side, but Jim and I'm going where the boat's going. We are very, very fortunate to have Katie driving the boat because she gets, if there's something you need done, you get her, and she will do that. She is wonderful at that, and I am very blessed that she has drugged me along with her. So thank you very much.
One more thing that I want to announce, we don't have all of the money in that has come in because a lot of the people that could not attend have been generous enough to either send a check in or going to send a check in. And some of y'all, if you didn't have the opportunity, you want to take your envelope home, it's got the address somewhere along the line. If not, talk to one of us table hosts. But the amount that we have either donated or pledged tonight is $18,775. For Mike and Katie, for scouting, for Mountain Home, we thank you all. Good night and be safe. Good night.